Hi everybody, welcome to my kitchen. I am so happy today to be your side dish hostess. Well, at least in the Lovett household, I'm the side dish hostess. My husband generally fixes the meat for dinner, and it's up to me to come up with the side dish, and sometimes I have trouble coming up with things. You know, you kind of run out of ideas. I've been going through my mom's cookbook and looking at some of her recipes, and I found her recipe for a cheese souffle. And I remember as a kid, whenever she made a cheese souffle, boy, she couldn't make it big enough. We kids would just fight over it because it was so good. But I thought I would take her recipe and change it just a little bit. And I also wanted to be able to show you how easy it is to make a cheese souffle. You don't have to have company coming. You don't have to go to a gourmet restaurant to get it. You can just whip it up right here in your own kitchen. Now I'm going to start with my souffle dish. And I'm just going to butter it. I prefer a little butter instead of cooking spray. And I have preheated my oven to 375 degrees so it's nice and ready when we're ready. Now you can use your big stand mixer or food processor, but I'm going to do everything right here in my blender. It's my trusty old blender. It's been around the block a few times. So I'm going to start with 4 eggs. We'll just get them in here. Get it all in. We're going to blend them up just for about a minute or so until they kind of get light and airy. So pardon the noise. Okay. Now here comes the hardest part of all. You're going to love it. I'm adding about 2/3 of a cup of milk. And 4 ounces of this wonderful Philadelphia cream cheese. Now I'm using the whipped cream cheese just because it's a little softer. And I'm just going to put it all in here. Woo, look at how luscious that is. This is really going to change this recipe. It's going to be very creamy and smooth and delicious. Okay, we got that all in. Now I have some extra sharp shredded cheddar cheese, which really adds a lot of flavor. We're just going to get that all in there using my fingers. Then I've got a little bit of Parmesan cheese. And I'm going to blend this up just a little bit so that we don't have a big explosion. We don't want that to happen. Okay. Now, we'll wipe that down a little bit. I've got a couple of spices and herbs to flavor it up. Again, you can use anything in here, any favorite herb. I love dill, so I'm going to put some dill in there, and I just chopped up some fresh dill. And a little bit of dry mustard. And some garlic powder. You got to have garlic in there. Garlic flavors everything up great. There we go. And then just a little pinch of salt and pepper. A little bit more here. And last but not least, and you don't have to do this, but my husband and I like things with a little bit of kick. So I've got about half a teaspoon of hot sauce. And I'm just going to throw that in there now. In our case, it's extremely hot sauce. My husband has a hot sauce collection that if anybody actually ever tasted all of them, it'd probably kill them. But this is going to give this just a little bit of a kick. So we'll blend her up. I'm going to let it run for about 2 minutes. hope my old machine can take it. Okay, I think they're looking pretty good. Now, wasn't that just about the hardest thing you ever did? Okay. Now we're going to put it right in to our souffle dish. You can see the herbs. Get it all in there. Then I'm going to pop it in the oven for about 25 to 30 minutes. You just want it to get kind of fluffy and brown. And the great thing about this side dish is if you're busy, if your kids are running around, they need help with their homework or getting their lunches ready for tomorrow, or maybe your husband wants you to just come out on the deck and sit and relax with them, you pretty much have your side dish done, because it's going to be in there for 25 or 30 minutes while you get to do the other things that you need to take care of. So let's get it in the oven and I'll be right back. Here we are back in my kitchen. My souffle is out of the oven. I'm going to try to show it to you. It's kind of hot, but you can see how golden and brown it is. Oh, it just looks luscious. And we're going to taste it in just a minute, but I'm going to let it cool just a tiny bit first. You really want to bring it to the table hot, and while we're letting it cool down, I'm just going to decorate it a little bit with some pieces of dill. Now, as you may recall, I used my mom's recipe, which called for eggs and milk and cheddar cheese and actually a little bit of onion, salt, and dry mustard. And I changed it up by adding some of my own ingredients, including dill and some garlic powder and some Parmesan, and of course the luscious Philadelphia cream cheese. This really is a great addition to this dish. You can see how creamy and luscious it is. Well, I hope you can see it at least. And actually what's kind of fun about this dish is you can serve it family style like this in your large souffle bowl, or you can take a smaller ramekin. This I think is a 4-inch ramekin, and serve them individually. So maybe you have company, or you just want to make it a special occasion for your family and give each of them their own personal little souffle. I think that this recipe probably will yield about 4 of these. And if you're really brave and you have a tot in the house, just use one of these little tiny ones, and that way they will have their own souffle as well. So let's give it a taste and see what we think. And hopefully I won't burn myself. Oh boy. Can you see that? See how it's set up nicely? Here's my dill that I just put on the top. And it's brown around the whole top. Let's give it a taste test. Oh, it's hot. Oh my. Whew. It's hot. But it's smooth and creamy. Oh my. It's so creamy. It's almost like a mousse. You can taste the dill and just a little bit of the hot sauce. It really isn't hot by any means, but it does give it just a kind of little extra kick. So I'm going to take one more taste just to prove to you that it really is good. And hot. That is absolutely delicious. And your family's not going to believe it when you bring this to the table. They're going to think you're a gourmet cook. So, and here's to all of my Real Women of Philadelphia side dish hostesses. I hope you enjoy it. Thanks. Yummy.